皆さん、英語のソータです。
And I'm Reilly.
Hey Riley, it's getting warmer in Osaka and I'm hoping it is in Kagawa too, but...
Yeah, a little bit. I guess like in the afternoons it's getting warmer, but in the mornings it's pretty cold still. Maybe, I think in the mornings it's even colder than it was last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, in Osaka too, we still have ups and downs, but I think it's, getting warmer and warmer. So spring is coming, hopefully.
Yeah.
はい、皆さん、ちょっとずつ大阪はかもしれないんですけど、暖かい日が増えてきて、春が近づいてきているのかなと思うんですけど、香川はまだね、寒いようですね。大阪もまだ朝は寒かったり、晩も寒かったりはするんですけどね、暖かい日も増えてきてるなって思うので、春を心待ちにしながら、またね、風邪もひかないようにお互い毎日を過ごしましょう。で、ちょっとずつ僕たちもオンラインレコーディングに慣れてきたかなと思います。なので、毎回のエピソードを楽しんでいただけたときは、シェアをしていただいたり、コメントをしていただいて、交流をしていただけたらなと思います。結構、復帰してることにまだ気づかれてないんだろうなって、数字的に感じる節などもあるので、早く皆さん戻ってることに気づいてくださったら嬉しいなって思いながら、毎週気持ちを込めてまた収録していきたいなと思うので、ライちゃん、今回も頑張りましょう。So, are you ready, Riley?
Yep.
ソータと
ライリの台本なし
英会話
レッスン Episode 218.
Yeah, no problem. No breaking up.
Good.
Okay. And also, I think, when you say 台本なし英会話レッスン, you don't need to listen to my voice. You can just keep going. Then
yeah,
it'll be
it's
the
hard,
same.
huh? It's hard to do.
You can just ignore me.
Yeah.
But yeah, next time. So, what is the topic for episode 218, Riley?
It is relationships with neighbors.
はい、今回のお題は、近所付き合い、アメリカ vs 日本です。I have a lot of reasons why I chose this topic, but, it will be really long. So, I will explain just a little bit. I will explain little by little. But,
Okay.
I have a kind of good relationship with my neighbors right now. And then those relationships made me think about, relationships in general. And also, I just wanted to know how much people have a good relationship in States and in Japan, especially in terms of neighbors or neighborhood. So I decided to talk about this topic with you.
Yeah, okay.
So in general, I want to compare. So in general, do you think people have a good relationship with neighbors in Japan and in the States nowadays as well?
I don't know. It's good is an interesting adjective. I don't know if I think definitely compared to like a long time ago, at least my kind of impression is that a long time ago people had better relationships, closer relationships with their neighbors than now. I think now most people kind of talk to their neighbors, but not all the time, only if they need to. And, I've always heard that, I don't know, 100 years ago or maybe only 50 years ago, everybody knew everything about their neighbors and they were like close friends and helped each other and stuff. But yeah.
So can you find any differences in Japan and in the States in terms of the relationships with neighbors?
In general, I would think there's not like really big differences, like just in terms of like how close they are to their neighbors. I think it's kind of similar, but there are some kind of the how can I say, like the way that people interact with their neighbors is kind of different, I think.
How?
So okay, like the main example is like where you interact with your neighbors. I think in America, like the common thing is like in your front lawn, in front of your house, like if you're gardening or mowing the lawn or something like that, you often see your neighbors and say hello.
Mhm.
And I think maybe that's the case in some parts of Japan too. Like, if you have a house with a garden, then you see each other in the morning. But I think the main one in Japan is like near the garbage area,
Mhm.
right? Which is
Mhm.
pretty different. Like, if you share a garbage area with your neighbors, so like every day in the morning when you go out to take the garbage out, you say hello to your neighbors and maybe talk a little bit in the morning, like, oh, it's cold, or oh, like, something about the weather usually, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, so that's a pretty big difference, the
Oh,
garbage.
so in Japan, people are, interacting with each other at that spot, especially.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, but in the States, people don't talk there.
Well, in the States, that place doesn't really exist.
Uh-huh.
Like, um, most people, maybe in very big cities, it's different, but most places you have like a big trash can with wheels that you put at the end of your driveway at the front of your house, and the garbage truck comes to every house and takes your
Mm.
garbage.
Mm.
There's not like one spot that everybody puts their garbage.
Then no strict rules like Japan.
Oh, in terms of like what garbage goes out on what day,
Yeah, something like that.
not nearly as strict as Japan. Like, I think in America there's usually like a recycling day.
Mm.
Maybe now it's different. I'm talking about what I remember from like 10 years ago, but it used to be that there were two trash cans, two bins. There was
Mm.
the general garbage one, and then there was the recycling one that would have like plastic bottles and maybe paper or something like that in it.
Mm.
Um, but of course in Japan, depending on the area, right, it can be very specific.
うーん。一回ちょっと訳しましょうかね。今日はちょっといきなりまず英語からパッと入ったので、まだ皆さんも、このトピックに親近感が湧いてないかもしれないので、一旦日本語を入れたいなと思いました。えっと、今日はこの近所付き合いについてお話をしたいんですけど、このトピックを選んだ理由は、僕自身がすごい今、近所付き合いをこのマンションに引っ越してからすごくしていて、で、インスタストーリーとかにはいろいろ載せてるんですけど、それをきっかけに、日米ってこれどう違うんだろうとか、日本でも結構都市部と田舎の地域では近所付き合いが違ったりすると思うんですけど、そういうものもひっくるめてなんか発見があればなと思ってこのトピックを作ってます。で、今まずライちゃんに聞いたのが、大きなもう近所付き合いっていうテーマとして見たときに、日本、アメリカも含め、人って近所付き合いってしてるのかなっていう大きなテーマから始まったんですけど、ライリーの、感想というか感じ方としては、やっぱり昔の方が人との付き合い方ってもっと密だったよねと。それは田舎、都会、アメリカ、日本問わず、どこにいても、やっぱ昔の方がもっともっと人との距離が近かったんじゃないかっていうのがお話として出てましたね。で、次、じゃあ、日本とアメリカで少し規模をね、さっきはジェネラルだったので、ちょっと狭めてみて、日本とアメリカで違い何かあるかっていう質問に対して出た面白い回答が、近所付き合いする場所が違うよねと。で、タイピングしてもらいたいのが lawn って言ってましたかね lawn。
Yeah.
芝生。あとは mow, you said mow the lawn。
Yeah.
うんふん。moan と、これ打ってもらいましょうかね。結構トイックとかにも出る単語だと思うので、lawn は芝生。で、あんま
Right.
日本では芝刈ることないので、we don't mow, right? In Japan.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
そう、あんまり使う言葉じゃないかもですけど、やっぱアメリカならではだなと思いました。アメリカでは芝を刈ってる時とか、そういう場所で近所の人たちとやり取りするのに対して、日本では近所付き合いするときってゴミ出すときだっていう、 それがまずすごい面白いなと思ってたんですけど、こう日本ってやっぱりゴミ出しの場所があって、日付が決められていて、あるいはルールもそんなにアメリカは細かくないらしいので、日本は細かいですよね。そういうところからこう、コミュニケーションが発展していくっていう、それぞれのその場所がやっぱ違うよねっていうのがまず、ライちゃんが言ってくれてたところですね。So in Japan, you always think that there is a strict rule of garbage stuff, and then people are caring about each other's garbage or something.
I think so, right?
How do you feel in your case?
I mean, actually, for me, it's never really affected me too much. Like I, you know, I'm usually pretty good about doing the garbage correctly. I mean,
Mm,
sometimes I forget and then I wait until the next week or something like that. But
mm,
um, I have some friends who have very, what can I say, like nosy neighbors.
mm.
So like, if they make a mistake, someone will like write a note and put it in the garbage area or put it on their on their front door or something like that about like, oh, somebody put this plastic in the burnable trash and blah blah blah. Like it's kind of common for my friends to say that somebody like complained or rare. I don't think they usually talk directly to them, but they often do some kind of like note or something like that. And I mean, coming from America, even in places where people do kind of share trash areas, like maybe big cities like New York or something,
Mm.
it would be so crazy for somebody to care about what's in your garbage.
uh, so yeah, in Japan, people are kind of, you said, nosy, and then people care about each other's garbage too much or something.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's like everyone in Japan because, like I said, I've never had a problem with it, but
Uh,
I have had a few friends who have had problems, and I don't know if it's mostly like retired people who are kind of like bored
uh,
and don't have, I don't know,
uh,
and that's like their hobby, or they feel like they're kind of
hobby.
keeping the neighborhood safe or clean or something. I don't
uh,
know, but yeah,
that friends you're talking about are from other countries, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
ああ、そういうことね。まずちょっと、僕、ここがすごい面白いなと思うので、訳したいんですけど、まずは、nosy って
Yeah.
言ってましたかね。こう、ノイジーとも似てますけど、nosy はこう、どっちかというと、なんかこう、人のこ人のことすごい見てる、おせっかいとか、こう、人の、なんでしょうね、こう、荒探しというか、こここうだよね、ああだよねって、いい意味も悪い意味も含む言葉だと思うんですけど、こういろいろと人のことを見てる人の、状態を表す形で使われてましたが、やっぱり日本のそのゴミ出しルール、そこから近所付き合いがいろいろ発展していくっていうのがテーマだったので、その近所付き合いがいいように作用するときもあれば、悪いようにも作用することがあるんだろうなって今聞いてて思いました。で、その例として、ライちゃんはゴミとかね、すごいちゃんと分別していたり、そこに問題はないらしいんですけど、香川に住んでるライちゃんの友達で外国人のコミュニティでみんなが言うのが、ゴミ出しのことうるさくね、日本ってなるみたいですね。で、このゴミ出す日が違うとか、ここの分別が違うとか、で、間違ってたら、note、これも打っておいてもらいましょうかね。この note はメモとか、こう紙っていうような意味でのノートもあるので、ノートをね、紙を貼られていて、火曜日です、このゴミは、みたいな書いてあるってことよね、ライちゃん。そういうこ
Yeah,
とよね。
something like that. Yeah.
そう火曜日とか、プラスチックここ捨てるなとか、そういうのが貼られていると。で、アメリカとかだとあんまりそういうルールがなかったりするのと、こういうシェアのエリアでも、みんななんかお互いのことにそうやって詮索しなかったり気にしないことが多いらしいので、日本ではやっぱそこが、なんでしょうね、違うところだなって感じるみたいですね。でもちろんそれをきっかけに近所付き合いがいいように発展していく時もあれば、やっぱり悪いように発展していく時もあると。 で、実はですね、この収録が始まる前に、ちょっとそのゴミ出しのお話にはライちゃんとなっていて、なんか違いについて話したいんだよねって言った時に、基本台本なし英会話レッスン打ち合わせしないんですけど、そのゴミ出しのお話が出て、日本ってやっぱゴミ出しってこんなにやっぱうるさいのっていう質問を投げかけられたんですよ。で、僕がエピソードでそれは答えるねって言ったので、今ここから答えていきたいんですけど、So before recording this episode, you just mentioned about garbage stuff, and then you
Yeah.
asked me if we have a strict rule, and then we are caring about, people's garbage each other. So you want to know the answer, right?
Yeah. Do you care?
Oh, actually, we do. So I don't know why, but in Japan, um, people tend to care about people's garbage because maybe there is a rule. For example, on these days, we can put this kind of garbage in this, in my case, in my apartment, there is a kind of small room or small area, and there is a door as well. So we have to put some garbage into the room. So
Right,
sometimes
right.
people, don't follow the rule and then they put it outside of the, room, or, they don't follow the instructions or something. Then I think we tend to care about that. So I think my answer to that question is that's true. We do care.
I think I understand that a little bit. Like if you put your garbage in the wrong area,
Mhm.
like outside the door or something, then of course that's like dirty.
Mm.
That's not good. I agree with that, but like some of my friends have said like they will put out their let's say it's burnable trash,
Mm.
right? Like, food trash and stuff like that. And they will accidentally have like one piece of plastic or something in the bag,
Mhm.
and their neighbor will like find it
Mhm.
and make a note like, plastic trash is on Wednesday or something like that. Like,
Uh,
which to me, if someone is looking in your trash bag,
uh,
that's crazy behavior. Like that's like a crazy person.
I
Like
think so too.
yeah. But it's apparently common. Like I have a few friends that this has happened to.
Yeah, it's kind of common. Of course, I also said that, we tend to care about the garbage rule. I also care, but my point was that, as you said, where they put or something, and I don't care
Right.
about the inside of the garbage,
Right.
plastic
I
box,
understand that. Yeah.
right? But the reason why I said we do, is because, I also know there are a lot of people, especially, elderly or something, older people, are kind of checking, and then they tend to care about, the garbage rule very seriously.
Yeah.
うん。
Yeah. It
面白い。Okay, go ahead.
no no no. That's it is yeah, it's really strange to me, but yeah, I
う
don't
んう
know.
ん。
I don't know.
Yes. Burnable, sorry, not burnable.
Yeah.
可燃ゴミとかね、燃やせるゴミ、燃やせないゴミ。なんか今日のトピックはゴミですか？今日は
Yeah.
ゴ
Maybe not
ゴミ
neighbors.
そう、ゴミのトピックですかって今なってるんですけど、まずでも、ここから発展させていきたいなと思ってるので、皆さんにも聞いていただきたいんですがね、確かにと思ったのが、やっぱ外国人からすると、たまにね、そりゃプラスチックのところに燃えるゴミ入れちゃうときあるやんっていう、間違ってね。それを結構細かく見て、1個でも入ってると、それは違いますっていうのを貼ってくる。っていうのがすごい外国人コミュニティの間ではなんでこんな細かいのっていうのが、日本ではすごい感じるみたいですね。もちろん本当はねその全部ちゃんと分別しないといけないのはもちろん分かってるんですけど、僕もライリーもそして多分住んでる外国人皆さんもね、ただ結構ね細かく本当になんかこう荒探しをしてる、ね、方っていうのも今聞いてていらっしゃるのかなっていうのは思ったので、まずはそこがこう近所の、ね、人たちとの距離感としてアメリカ日本で違うところかなっていうのが分かりましたね。でここからなんか一つ思ったのが、 やっぱ都会と田舎でもそこの距離感って違うのかなと思ったんですよね。で、確かに僕たち日本人は結構ゴミのことルールとかは結構ね、気にするので、なんかこんなところに出してるとか、このルール違うのになとかって思うことは多かれ少なかれあったとしても、それを言わないっていうのは、なんかこう、都会ではあんまない気がするんですよね。僕の価値観的には。ってなった時に、そのライちゃんの香川のコミュニティで、そんなみんなが言ってるっていうのは、結構都会と田舎での距離感であるんじゃないかなって思います。で、一つ、秘密の県民賞っていう番組が日本ではこう流行っていて、それぞれの都道府県によってこう国民性というか、こう人柄が違うっていうのを取り扱う番組なんですけど、たまたまつけた時に見たのが、田舎の人たちのその近所の人へのこう干渉率がすごいっていう。布団干してたら、はよ布団入れなあかんよとか、ちょっとなんかこう、お出かけしてる時間が長かったら、なんで今日そんな一日出かけてたの、子供家に置いてって言われたりとかするっていうのを聞いて、大阪ではそんなことないと思ったので、そういう違いがあるのかなと思ったので、ちょっとここら辺をね、今トピックにしたいなと思ったんですけど、So, hearing your explanation about the garbage stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it's kind of related to the differences between in big cities and in rural areas. And then
Uh-huh.
even in Japan as well, like I heard that there are a lot of neighbors who care about, their neighbors in big cities more than, sorry, in rural areas more than in big cities. And
Okay,
then,
like so the rural neighbors are nosier than big city neighbors.
yeah, I heard that. And there is
Okay.
a famous TV show, 秘密の県民賞. Do you know that?
Nope.
Yeah, it focuses on the, differences or different characters of people in each region. And
Oh,
then
okay.
yeah, there was a kind of show. It was saying that in rural areas people are always monitoring the behaviors of neighbors. So for example, if somebody um is not at home for a long time, then people say, "Oh, why were you not at home for example, 8 hours, leaving your kids alone?" Or, you know,
Mm.
why didn't you put this garbage in the correct right area or something? So I feel like there are some differences between in Osaka or in big cities and in rural areas. From your perspective, what do you think?
Uh yeah, I mean when it comes to nosiness, I don't know enough about the big cities to talk to that, but yeah, I think there is some of that in the countryside, in the rural areas. I mean, I haven't experienced it like too much. Um, yeah, nobody's really asked me like why were you not home or something like that. That's a little extreme, but I I can imagine that kind of thing happening. Um, and yeah, I think in America it's somewhat similar that like people in rural areas or I yeah, I'll say suburban areas because like in rural areas in America your neighbors might be really far away.
Mm.
But suburban areas where the houses are kind of near each other, but they are houses, not apartments. Um, your neighbors might be like nosy, and a lot of it comes back to that the lawn. Like if your lawn is messy, like your grass is too long or too yellow, or like you have a lot of weeds or something like that, all of that is like important for neighbors because I guess it makes the whole what would you say? Like it makes the whole neighborhood look bad. I'm not sure if people would care so much about what happens like inside the house.
Mm.
Like if people are gone for a long time or I don't know. I think yeah, that kind of stuff I don't know if people care about too much, but I think it's more caring about like the outside appearance of
Mm.
the thing. I don't know. A lot of it comes down to like to yards, to lawns. Like if one person has a tree in their yard that drops a lot of leaves onto their neighbor's yard, that could start like not a fight, but like they could have an argument about whose responsibility it is to clean up those leaves because it's one neighbor's yard, but it's the other neighbor's tree. So blah, 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 like that kind of thing happens a lot.
In a positive way or in a negative way, people are really close in suburban areas or in rural areas in Japan. So sometimes it's a kind of positive thing. People are helping each other. But sometimes, it's too close, then people have a fight or something. And that's true in the States as well.
Yeah.
But especially in Japan, we often say in rural areas, people are kind of friendly and then people are helping each other. But sometimes, it's too much, I heard.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah, that's why I think, people are complaining about the garbage stuff in your community, Kagawa, I guess. Because that doesn't happen in Osaka or big cities that much.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I mean, we've talked about it and tried to understand why these people care so much. And I guess it's because there is some rule and that it's, I don't know, better for the community if everybody follows the rule. I think. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really clear on what the consequences are if you do the wrong kind of trash. Like sometimes I think the garbage collectors, the garbage men don't pick up the trash if it's wrong. But if it's like one piece of plastic in a regular trash bag of burnable trash, usually they still pick it up, I think.
今日のトピックはゴミですかねってもう一回突っ込みたくなるんですけど、でも本当にこれは関係していることなのでね。なのでまとめると、やっぱりこうアメリカでも日本でも都市部とこう地方でやっぱりこう人の距離感ってそれはいい意味でもあり悪い時でもあるとは思うんですけど、違うんだなって今思いましたね。で、英語の場合は rural っていうと確かに今はあと思ったのが、すごい田舎のところを指しちゃうので、もう農場みたいなね、ファーマーみたいなね、こう家と家の間がすごい空いてるので、もう逆に距離感が縮まらないと、あんまり近所付き合いしないと。なので、suburb だと、郊外なので、都市部からちょっと離れた場所っていうところだと、やっぱり田舎っぽいんだけれども、距離は比較的近いので、やっぱりこう芝生のところでなんで掃除してないんだ、誰が掃除するんだとか、草がすごい伸びてきてるよとか、やっぱりこう人がいろいろとおせっかいをし始めると。なのでやっぱり日本とアメリカ両方ともね、こう住む場所によってその距離感って違うんだなっていうのは思いますね。ただ今ちょっとネガティブなね、お話も混ぜながら、こうゴミのお話とかをね、ここまでやってきましたけど、僕が今回一番ね、お話ししたかったのが、今僕、すごい近所の人たちと交流していて、で、すごいこう、僕は大阪っていうあんまり人と人との距離がそこまでね、地方ほどは近くないはずですけど、近所付き合い的にはね、人はあったかいんですけど、そんな近所付き合いめちゃくちゃしてきたってことはなかったので、今なんかそれがすごい心地いいなって思ったんですよね。なので、アメリカではそういう近所付き合いする人たちってどんな風にするんだろうっていうのも聞きたくて、今ここまでのお話になってました。なので、ちょっとここのお話をしたいんですけど、僕2年ぐらい前に引っ越してきて、一番最初にお引っ越しのね、ご挨拶として、ドレッシングをね、ちょっと高めの、そう、ちょっと高めのドレッシングを配りに行ったんですよ。同じ階の人に。で、インスタグラムストーリー見られてた方はね、これご存知だと思うんですけど、で、そのドレッシングから全てが始まったんですよ。で、僕がそれをお持ちしたことで、こう、お返ししなきゃっていうふうに多分思ってくださったんだと思うんですけど、なんか、こう、そのお返しにっていう形で、いろんななんかこう食べ物とか、こうプレゼントとかっていうのをくださって、で、僕も、いただくとお返ししなきゃっていうのもあったり、あるいはただ単純に、これ美味しいと思ったら、近所の方にお渡ししようと思って何個か買って、お返しとかいらないので、お配りすると、またなんかこう、いろいろ返ってくるっていう形で、ずっとこの2年間ぐらい、 何かずっと交換をしてるみたいな感じで、付き合ってるんですよね。で、一番最近載せたのが、節分の時に隣の方が恵方巻きとスープを作って持ってきてくださって、で、それをインスタグラムストーリーに載せた時に、皆さんがすごい、なんかこう、近所付き合いをしてない今だからこそ、すごいこう、泣けてきたとか、心があったかくなったっていうコメントがすごい多くて、それだけやっぱり今、特にコロナのね、時代もあったので、日本ってこう近所付き合いがなくなってきてるんだろうなと思って、このトピックを作りたかったんですよね。なので、次はちょっと最後、ポジティブなお話をね、こう、ライリーとお話できたらなと思うんですけれども、So 2 years ago, I moved to this apartment, and then
Hmm.
uh, yeah, we've been having a good relationship with my neighbors, and then first I gave them a kind of small gift because I moved to this apartment, and then I wanted to say hello. Then
That's
after
common, right?
that,
Yeah.
yeah, and then after that, everything started. So everything started from my small gift. And then we are exchanging lots of gifts. And then sometimes my neighbor gives me, for example, ehomaki. Do you know ehomaki? Sushi?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unsetsubun.
Yeah, on Setsubun. Like this, I'm having a good relationship with them. So first of all, is it common that, to say hello when you move to that area in the States?
後半に続く。カフェでサウンドチェック中やからこんな声です。